there were some good moments out of our squad. I feel like there was at least three guys who go, well, they actually play pretty well. And then everybody else is like, because like in the first, like, I would say like first 5 to 10 minutes, I thought USA was like, oh my gosh, we haven't lost a step even without majority of our starters even out there. And then after that, it kind of was just like, I felt like Türkiye kind of was being a little bit more physical with us, and they kind of were just being, they were getting out in space, and they were getting behind or I shouldn't say behind our guys because that would be offsides or whatever. But like I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of communications after that first 10 minutes of defensively, and they were losing guys. We were not communicating. We were just letting balls. Too many goals were getting in the goals. That's plain and simple. There were just too many goals being allowed. And you can't really have that in the World Cup. But like I said, it is what it is. But this is things we're going to learn, and we're going to try and improve on as we advanced here in the round of 32 against Bosnia. But at the same token, I felt like it was a lot of the questions was going to be, should we have played Pulisic? Should we have not? I was in the mindset of not playing him, but at the same time, after seeing him, he looked pretty good. Didn't really lose a step. Looked really awesome. Definitely was the main reason why we were even back into this game, and definitely had a chance to have a draw at least. But obviously that wasn't the case. But like I said, after seeing or watching his performance, I was like, well, it was actually pretty good that he actually played, because he got he was trying to get it back into a rhythm, get back into playing, and after sitting that first or the second game against Australia. So I thought I'm like, what, it was fine that he played. And then we ended up getting some of our other starters in as well towards the end. But yeah, I mean, you never want to lose, but like it is what it is. But I'm trying to be optimistic about heading into the round of 32 instead of like I felt like like if we would have lost that. Like, say, let's play this scenario. If we were playing Türkiye in that first game, and that's how we lost, and we're like, well, same old USA, and then played how we did the last two, beating Australia and Paraguay, everyone would be like, they'd be too high and be like, oh my God, this team, that, and then we would have maybe like crushed down back to earth in the round of 32 or something like that. But now I feel like with this loss, we can bounce back. We can regroup, and hopefully the coach will get the boys to rally and be like, hey, see what happens when you're not focused, or when you're not this, and when you're not doing all the details we need you to be doing, you lose. And now that we're in the knockout rounds, you lose, you're going home. So like I said, I think this will be a good moment for the boys, for the lads to really lock in now that we lost. But like I said, the game technically didn't really matter all that much, because obviously we won the group, we had enough points and all that other stuff. But it was kind of it's basically like we were forced to play this game because it's week 18, and we were resting our starters because we already clinched a playoff spot, and we were just kind of going through the motions. I'm not saying that Team USA was doing that. I was just kind of just giving an example. I don't want to give it the example that we're kind of just going through the motions. So they were playing hard. In the second half, I really liked how we played instead of that first half. How it after the first 10 and going into halftime, it was just like this isn't. We were looking in those first two games, but in the second half, I felt like they played a lot better, especially with Pulisic coming in. When did he get subbed in? I think it was about between the 50-minute mark, or somewhere in between 50 or 60-minute mark, somewhere around that time period, where he got subbed in and kind of gave us a little bit more juice. And then obviously we tied the game with Berhalter, who was an absolute missile. It was such a great goal. That was an awesome goal. So yeah, obviously we're heading into the round of 32. Going to play Bosnia on Wednesday. So mark your calendars. Make sure you are in front of a TV or at the game, and you're going to be watching it, because we need now we're in the knockout stages. We got to get up. We got to get people there. We got to rally the troops. We got to just support